Hello guys, this is Biology Geek, and in this video we will be talking about cell adhesion. What is cell adhesion and how it functions in unicellular as well as multicellular organisms. So let's begin without any further delay. So basically from the term we can understand what is cell adhesion. Cell adhesion means binding of any cell with another cell. Okay? In a manner in which a cell binds to the other cell, this process is known as cell adhesion. Fixing of two cells to each other, it is known as cell adhesion. Now the cell adhesion can happen in unicellular organisms as well as in multicellular organisms. In unicellular organisms, how the cells recognize other cell on which they have to adhere to, and how does the cell adhesion happen, that we can study. And cell adhesion in unicellular organisms play a very crucial role in cell survival and reproduction. Basically, cell survival and reproduction. Usually when the times get tough, when the cells are starved, several types of single-celled organisms, what they do is that they bind together to develop a specialized cells, to develop a specialized aggregation of cells that will be helpful for their survival. They secrete certain substances, certain chemicals, through the help of which it helps them to bind together, to stick together. For example, let's take the example of mold amoebas. In case of mold amoebas, what they do when the starvation happens, what they do is that they secrete a substance known as CAMP. CAMP. CAMP stands for cyclic adenosine monophosphate. They secrete this substance, and with the help of this, the cells, what they do is that they stick together. And after they stick together, they secrete another cell surface substance or glycoprotein they secrete, and with the help of that, the strengthening or the stickness happens more. So the basic of cell adhesion in unicellular organisms is to fight the adverse conditions or for cell survival and for reproduction. And with the example of mold amoeba, you can continue your answer. So the second part is in multicellular organisms, how does the cell recognition happen in case of cell adhesion. We will see that. In multicellular organisms also, or multicellular animals or tissues also, it can be seen that if a tissue dissociates into single cells, so after the dissociation of tissue into single cells, these cells recognize their own tissue cells and try to adhere to the same cells as compared to the single-celled organism. Those single-celled what they do is that they find the organisms of their own species and try to adhere to them. While of a multicellular organism, once the cells are dissociated, if the suspension is again kept in a conditions in which they will be reassociated, they try to find their own cells and then aggregate with them. So this is a specific characteristics of the cells, that is of recognition of their own species. The example can be seen of marine sponge. If the cells of marine sponge are sieved through a mesh and single cells are yielded, if all the tissues, whatever the marine sponge holds, if everything is sieved through a mesh, and then the single cells that are yielded in a clump, if they are kept with other species, other organisms from other species' cells, and both of these cells are rotated together in a culture, these marine sponge cells will aggregate only with their own cells of the organism. They will find their own cells and will aggregate. This happens, the scientific reason behind this is that there are specific type of molecules that are present in the extracellular matrix of cells of marine sponge. Those molecules are known as proteoglycans. Proteoglycans are found on the extracellular matrix of the marine sponge, and these proteoglycans bind to the specific cell surface receptors of the other species only. For example, if this is a marine sponge consisting of many cells, and what we do is through a mesh we isolate them into many cells, and in a culture we incorporate them with other cells also. we incorporate them with other cells also. And once this culture is rotated completely, the marine sponge cells will aggregate with their own cells. It is because all of these cells hold these kind of proteoglycan receptors, and because of these receptors they identify their own cells and they bind to them. So this is an example that can be understood of multicellular organisms, how they recognize their own cells. Okay, then if we will see of vertebrate animals, the vertebrate animals like sponge cells can be dissociated, okay, and allowed to re-aggregate. And after they are re-aggregated, they also try to find the species, the cells of their own tissues, and try to re-aggregate with them. And the specific thing that is found in these cells that help them in identifying their own cell is a glycoprotein, that is known as a glycoprotein found on the cell surface, that is known as CAM. And CAM stands for cell adhesion molecule. Cell adhesion molecule. What it does, for example, if there is a cell and it has here a cell adhesion molecule CAM, and there is another cell of the same species, it will also have a cell adhesion molecule, and it will bind with the other cell through this cell adhesion molecule, and this is known as cell adhesion. But the CAM associated cell adhesion will not be a stable adhesion. This cannot guarantee you a completely stable cell adhesion, but there is another process that is known as cell junction, which will more or less give us a stable permanent adhesion. So in the next video we will be talking about cell adhesion. In the next video we will be talking about cell junction. So what is a cell junction? Cell junction will somehow give us a more permanent and stable adhesion, which CAM associated adhesion will not be able to give. So stay tuned and see you in the next video.